So now I'm back once again. See my coffee cup? It has my brother's face on it. You see, I put my brother's face in the newspaper around, I think it was about 1980 or 81. My brother Jerry was acting out, and you know what? They do anniversary murders. So, we got the one in 1975. There's probably one in 1980. I know there was one in 1984 and there was one in 1985 because we have the Monica Anderson that got murdered. And then we have the other woman that got murdered. And I was in Nevada at the time. My brother Jim come racing down there to make it like he's got an alibi. He's in a different state and stuff all the time. And he caused a whole bunch of hell between me and even my wife. I mean, my brother Jim would sit there and browbeat me. They murdered my friend Terry Lance Shortridge on my bed, and they're pushing between me and my wife and causing problems. These people have caused so much goddamn problem in my life. I've never sat down and had Thanksgiving with these people since 1971. And if I have had food with these here people, I made sure of what I was eating and I made sure I didn't get poisoned. Because in Mossy Rock, on Thanksgiving 1970, they poisoned me at that house. Maybe they was going to cash in on that $2,000 life insurance policy that I was shown in Port Angeles prior to be taken to Hurricane Ridge while my dad was in California by my mother and my brother Jim. And my brother Jim told me, he says, go over and look over and straight down and come back and tell me what you found. Jesus Christ, when I went over there, it's a straight down goddamn cliff fucking nowhere. You look down, it's nosebleed, man. I mean, they sent me over to my death. When I come back up, my mom's just goddamn screaming like Jim says, well, he walked over the edge, he's gone, And that's what their plot was all the time. My mother starts screaming at me, and all of a sudden she runs up to me instead of going like this and hug me. Geez, don't do nothing like that ever again. You'll die. She just beats the fucking hell out of me. So, Jesus Christ, I wish I would have never fucking come back. Type of a situation. I mean, there's so many things that the woman had done constantly. I try to tell people the fucking truth, and what they were doing was they were hiding behind their lies. Somebody says, my mother says, you look like the young one. I don't know what she's referring to. Apparently, the young one is the picture of the DB Cooper that's on the shirts and stuff around the United States. I look like the young one. Well, I guess I do look like the young one, don't I? This is the actual one that Tina Letlow, I believe it was, the woman that was on the 727 that my dad jumped out of the back of that. He told me when he flew out of the back of the 727, he screamed. And this is how he told me. This is how he started to tell me. He gave me lots of little clues. But the one was, when we just built the bowling alley, he got this block of ice cream out of the refrigerator right there in the bowling alley. He says, we're going to call this Alpine Bowl, after a bowl of ice cream. Then he tells me, the money's stolen. I got the money. Money is stolen. Where did you get $160,000 in 1973? Because the bowling alley was being built by 1973. The land was being cleared by a group of kids. Terry Shortridge was one of the kids. I was one of the kids. My brother Jim, he was there. Fireball, Mott Top cocktails, all this stuff, burning shit stuff, like this. What they were doing stuff like, kids, if you say anything, we'll burn you. I didn't know what the hell they were doing. I'm a stupid kid. I was held in a cage. I was being told in Port Angeles, hey, You're stupid. You don't see nothing. You don't know nothing. You don't know nothing. You know, I'm Tommy. I'm the pinball wizard that's got to be a twist. You know, got to be a supple wrist, because in 1971 I was sleepwalking. I was doing all these goddamn things because these people were doing shit around me. In the Mossy Rock bowling alley, my brother Jim, my dad purchased a 30-06 for my brother Jim when we left Port Angeles. And the way that my dad left Port Angeles with me and Jerry and Jim was, I found myself in the back seat of this 63 F-85 Oldsmobile that was used in the Darlene Ferrin murder in California with David Mujo. The Mujo boy. So anyway, Michael Mujo. So anyway, isn't that something? Oh, get microphone. You know, they say he had something to do with it. Was that Boy Scout? I wonder, because the other Boy Scout was Boy Scout. You know, prior to that murder, those other people that got murdered, his name was David, and her name was Luann. There was an L in the middle of it. Something, Mary Lou. But anyway, right there. She had an L in their name. And that was ROTC. That was Boy Scout. That's Boy Scout there. Bruce Kimsey, Boy Scout. I know Bruce Kimsey is Boy Scout. He's ROTC too. Elvis Presley, he was ROTC. Elvis Presley had problems. Elvis Presley had drug problems. The Boy Scouts of America and the cops are dirty, and they're dirty together. And I goddamn know, because of my brother Jerry and Bruce Kimsey and everything they've done in Lewis County. I mean, why would I come forward to such a thing and to say such a thing? They went after my son. They went after me. Hey man, you come after me. You come after my son? Hey, I have my nephew coming here getting fucking tough with me and shit like that. And he tells me that his boy his kid's been taken off the property by a cop, by a black cop, and they're trying to do a racial thing between him. And you know what? I goddamn believe it. And I'll tell you another thing. When I was getting these here documents and papers ready and stuff, it was getting so bad around here that all of this happened around the 8th. You know, this war over there in Lebanon and everything. My nephew gets picked up for no reason and is in jail in Thurston County here. And then, after I talked to my brother-in-law, Ernie Tobeck, that has a hearing thing in his ear, and I said, you know, if they fucking I jumped on him, this guy would be out in 20 minutes. And you know what? Within an hour, Kevin Baker was here at the house. My nephew Kevin was here at the house. He walked over like this. Thank you. You know, I don't know if he was personally thanking me for that thing, but when he got out, I mean, he was goddamn like this, thankful, you know. And I think that exactly is what happened. Matter of fact, over there in Maine, where that bowling alley gets shot up, okay, now this is the situation. I've already jumped on them at Washington State, the governor's office. I've already, you know, got down on all this. They do this backfire. This explosion happens over there in Lebanon. They're doing all this here stuff there. And I'm continuing my pressure on them and stuff. And they do stuff. They do the main thing, and then they do the thing. Oh, they're in California where they harm a person that's down there during the thing. I mean, and this is the cops moving around and doing it. It's the cops that's doing it. Jesus Christ. It's like Donald Trump. Hey man, I get voted, I'm going to send the cops all over to you. Donald Trump don't need no fucking votes, and he don't need to be the goddamn president of the United States. The United States is not going to go down just because Donald Trump's the president. key is Donald Trump's the president, and he fucking puts a military coup by allowing the cops and the army to come in and take over America. That's his goddamn plan. And that's his fucking goddamn plan, and I goddamn know it because I was held in that bowling alley in front of my dad being threatened by a cop. So we don't need the cops kicking in anybody's door anymore. You know, and old Joe Biden over there, he needs to take it to these Lebanese people over there in Lebanon, these Assyrians, and just keep going right up that canal, right up there, Lebanon, Syrian, and just blow the fucking hell out of Iran too. You know, because if it's back in Hezbollah, and that's Hezbollah in Morton, Washington, from the river to the sea, it's 11 minutes, I gotta go, and I'll be back.